Fourth, going around the map wider on the track was Tyrannic as they run up towards the home turn. Dance Floor Doll next, and then came Yodels. Lady Purpose on the fence. Running on was Zephyrlira from a long way back, and then Richfield Lady, the favourite, about 8 lengths off the lead. And Spanish Gem hooked around them wide as they come around the turn. 500 metres left to go. Lovey leads into the straight in the Wakeful Stakes. Lusty Habit went up on the outside second. Final Walk joining in. Then Yodels getting up along the inside. Dream About It. Here's the favourite, Richfield Lady. She's out and running on. And Dance Floor Doll behind them. Lady Purpose can't get a run from India's Dream. High Pressure, Spanish Gem. But the favourite hit the front. 300 metres to go. Richfield Lady took the lead from Yodels, fighting back. A length and a half to India's Dream, running on strongly. Richfield Lady on the outside and Yodels on the fence. Richfield Lady, the outside's put ahead in front of the favourite. It's going to be a little too good. Richfield Lady wins the Wakeful by a head to Yodels, and 3 away Dance Floor Doll. Then India's Dream, followed by a High Precious. Running on strongly, My Heart's Delight and Mexican Rose. Spanish Gem next in from Lady Purpose and Lusty Habit and Lovey. A Break the Talent Lover, Dream About It, Lady Backham, Tanak Rising, Final Walk, Zephyrlira. And last of all was Tyrannic. Bar one, Paringa Road was tailed off. Approximate dividends on the Wakeful Stakes, 145, you'll find the placings. Richfield Lady $1.25 and 75 is the expected should pays. 4 Yodels $1.70 and 5 Dance Floor Doll $1.60. So it's 145 across the line, and she just did what she had to, Gary Willits.
Well, what a beautiful filly she is, and what a strong filly. And you know, they rode her quiet, most probably thinking of the Derby, the Oaks coming up on Thursday, and you can just see her here coming up towards the 200, and she ranged alongside Yodels, and they had a real good battle here.
Yodels is a top filly, certainly underrated, but Richfield Lady really produced something. She had 57 kilos to carry today, and she was wide pretty much throughout the whole of the race.
She was, but what I was impressed with the way she relaxed in the run, and you know, no doubt, you know, they've just ridden her quiet, you know, with the Oaks coming up.
Well, Bart had 3 horses in the race. He got the winner. India's Dream ran 4th, and My Heart's Delight ran a good 6th. So he's got 3 strong chances in the Oaks on Thursday. Let's talk to the winning trainer, the Cups King himself. He's won 8 Melbourne Cups. He won a heap of feature races here last year. He's with Peter Donegan.
Thank you, Dan. Well, Bart, she's a class filly.
Yeah, she's done a pretty good effort today. She had the top weight and the wide barrier, and covered a bit of ground, and just pure will to win, just toughed it out and won. It was a good effort.
Real good staying performance too, because the other horse maybe looked as though it was probably going to kick back and beat her about 150 out, but gee, she was doing her best work at the finish.
Right. The further they went, so she just put a mind on it and really just toughed it out.
And the other 2 looked good Oaks chances too. They ran pleasing races.
Well, yeah, India's Dream ran a very good race, I thought. Got interference early, and otherwise it could have been well placed.
So it could be a big day for Bart Cummings on Thursday. The best of luck.
Let's hope it's Tuesday too.
Bart Cummings, the Cups King, and shooting for another Oaks win too. A brilliant performance by Richfield Lady in the Wakeful Stakes as we draw ever closer to the big ones. The McKinnon coming up next, but more information on race 4 at Flemington after this break. You're watching the Melbourne Cup Carnival, live and exclusive to Network 10.
The Nation. On the Wakeful Stakes, 145 Richfield Lady in Victoria, $1.25 the win, 75 the place. Yodels number 4, 170, 160 for Dance Floor Doll, 775 Quinella, trifecta $84.25 on 1, 4 and 5. So finally, Tim, correct weight is all clear. We can all go and collect on the favourite Richfield Lady in the 4th.
You might be able to, not me.
I wish to. The only one I had to go at, and they took it off me in the 1st, so I've given up.
All right, you're watching Channel 10's live and exclusive coverage of the 1991 Melbourne Cup.
Good tires.
For the best tyres.
Good service.
For the best service.
Good people.
See your nearest Goodyear retailer now for the best deals on all our tyres and mechanical services. Guaranteed.
Goodyear.
Right, the McKinnon is the next race to be run here, and what talent in this race. Headed up, of course, by the champion Superimpose. We've also got Surfers Paradise in it and Let's Elope. It is a great race. The McKinnon Stakes is race 5, and it's coming up next. But it's time to...
Will Australia's favourite racehorse, Superimpose, rise to the occasion in the Louis Vuitton McKinnon Stakes? The likeable chestnut races best at Flemington and has been trained to the minute. But his biggest obstacle will be the horse he chased home in the Cox Plate. The Kiwi Surfers Paradise will take on the might of Superimpose in a race that will decide the horse of the spring. Former glamour horse Stylish Century has been plagued with niggly injuries this spring, but the bold frontrunner appears back to his best condition-wise and will give the McKinnon one heck of a shake. Bold Rancher is the second string from the Freedman stable. The son of former champion sprinter Rancher has been most unlucky this year, but maybe the breaks will go his way this time. Ivory Way kick back, Royal Creation getting up on the fence and Let's Elope out wider. Royal Creation getting up on the inside of Ivory Way. Let's Elope on the outside, lunging at him, and Let's Elope got up. Let's Elope won the Caulfield Cup, beat Ivory Way. And then there's the Cup horses. Caulfield Cup winner Let's Elope stylishly won the Turnbull Stakes at Flemington in early October. Ivory Way. Runner-up in the Caulfield Cup, the former import has pleased the Hayes stable immensely. So too is another Hayes import, Moonee Valley Cup winner El Maheb, who has improved out of sight. Kiwi stayer Castletown has been primed for the Cup on Tuesday, but his weight for age form is also excellent. Could he provide the upset in the 1991 Louis Vuitton McKinnon Stakes?
Yes, as I said, the race is absolutely loaded with talent. If you can pick the winner, it may be more good luck than good management, so good luck to you. It's coming up shortly, and we'll talk to the Prime Minister too after this break.
I hope you're enjoying the Channel 10 Melbourne Cup coverage. It's a great day.
It certainly is, Willow. We're enjoying it immensely, and that's just one of the bands entertaining the crowd here. And the crowd is a very fun-loving, relaxed one here on Derby Day, and they're seeing some really sensational racehorses. It's been favourites day so far, and they really have held sway to the favourites today, and some just great performances. And the last one you've just seen, of course, in the Wakeful Stakes was by Richfield Lady. What a great one. What a great run. All right, let's see how you can win $1 million with Tats. In fact, you don't have to be a successful trainer to win $1 million. One of the items we'll be bringing you on Melbourne Cup Day is, of course, the drawing of the horses in the Tats Melbourne Cup Suite. Tattersalls have been running this lottery for 108 years, and the first prize this year, if you're lucky enough to draw the Melbourne Cup winner, will be $1 million. Yep, $1 million. If you haven't got your ticket yet and you can't buy one locally, we've got a number for you to ring, and it's 008 801 089. I'll do that again for you, 008 801 089, at around 2:15 on Cup Day. We'll tell you which 24 lucky tickets have drawn a horse in the Melbourne Cup and what the horses are. And then all you have to do is watch Channel 10 and watch the great race on Cup Day, and you could well be $1 million richer, courtesy of Tats. Magnificent prize, isn't it? All right, Carolyn Pagliardi is out and about, one of Channel 10's presenters for the Melbourne Cup this year, and it's a pleasure to have her with us. She's got a special guest.
Thanks, Tim. With me today I have Del Freedman Carr, who is the mother and of the trainer Lee Freedman and brothers. Actually, Lee, I always have trouble remembering all your sons' names.
Yes, well, I have 5 sons. Mark, who is not a trainer, and Richard and Anthony and Michael, who are in partnership with Lee, training here at Flemington.
So what is your involvement, apart from being the mother of those famous sons, with the racing industry?
Well, apart from being their biggest fan and supporter, I manufacture Lycra racing colours. I have done so for 3 years with quite an amount of success, and they are becoming more and more accepted in the industry.
Do you know what sort of percentage of jockeys now are wearing Lycras?
Yes, I think the last time we did some figures were about 25% of them wearing them, but the actual statistics of winners from wearing Lycra is quite outstanding.
So
and in
really
particular the Melbourne Cups, the last 2 Melbourne Cups, all the place getters have worn windskins.
That's fantastic statistics, isn't it? Really fantastic.
Yeah.
So why do you think it's a little bit slow with the jockeys moving into Lycra?
Oh, I think there's a lot of tradition, naturally, in racing, and I think it takes some people a while to accept a new concept. Of course, the reason being they're not a fashion item. They are meant to prevent as much as possible of wind resistance in a race.
And when was the first time that you actually used the Lycras for the very first time when you made them?
Lee took them to Sydney 3 years ago in the Summer Cup meeting, and Superimpose was the first horse to win wearing Lycra racing colours.
That's a very good record then, isn't it?
It
and
is.
Del, what can you just tell me, what is your tip for the Derby today?
Naturalism, naturally.
And I suppose the Superimpose in the Melbourne Cup?
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you very much, Del, and have a lovely day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carolyn, doing a great job. Well, one of Australia's greatest sports lovers and a man who never, ever misses the Derby joins Peter Donegan, the Prime Minister.
Thank you, Tim. Yes, a very keen racegoer, a very keen student of form, just looking over the Melbourne fields and the Sydney fields. Prime Minister, welcome to Derby Day.
Thank you.
Well, this is traditionally the greatest day of the year as far as we racing experts are concerned.
Best day's racing, yes. Yeah.
Has it been successful for you so far?
So far, yeah. So far, yeah.
What does a thing like Derby Day and the VRC Spring Carnival do for tourism in
I
Australia?
think it's marvellous. We know on the evidence that it brings a lot of people from overseas, and there's no doubt about the Australian racing industry. It presents itself very, very well indeed, and the clubs are to be congratulated, and we've got great Australian public interest, and so it's not just the quality of the racing, but I think people feel happy coming here.
It almost wouldn't be Derby Day if you weren't here either. You don't miss too many.
No, it's the one day of the year. It's far and away the best day's racing of the year.
Do you keep a close eye on your Melbourne Cup fancy on a day like this?
Well, I don't form any fancies for the Melbourne Cup until after today. I mean, if you're interested in racing and betting on the Melbourne Cup, you never make up your mind until after Derby Day.
We saw a horse that's racing in this event, Superimpose, do something sensational in Sydney a few weeks ago. It's great to have an idol for the Australian public.
It's a great horse, a great credit to Lee Freedman. The great thing about Superimpose, when you look at its record, is the variety of distances over which it can perform, and perform brilliantly, from 1200 up to, well, it ran second in the Melbourne Cup. It's terrific. So it is a remarkably versatile horse.
They'll bring this place down if it happens to win the Cup on Tuesday.
Yeah, well, it would, and it has shown, as I say, by coming second at Terrific, that it can run the distance. It's as I say, a remarkably versatile horse. There are not many horses that you talk about as a Melbourne Cup winner potential who can win over 1200 as it's done.
Finally, Prime Minister, we can't let you go without a tip for the Derby, the big one of the day. You've got all these markings on your form guide. Can you come up with the winner?
Well, I think the first thing to say about the Derby, this year I don't think there's an absolutely standout horse as there has been in previous years. I don't say that, you know, derogatively about the horses that are in. They're good horses, but in most years there's a horse that I think really stands out. I guess this year I would think between, and I haven't really made up, but I think between Kingertite, Naturalism. I think one horse that certainly can run the distance is Mac Robert. I don't know whether it's brilliant enough, but it can certainly run the distance. So I'll be thinking about those three, but I want to have a look at them in the mounting yard.
I'm sure you do, Prime Minister. Always great to have you on Network 10, and good punting.
Thank you very much indeed.
The Prime Minister of Australia, Mr. Bob Hawke. Tim?
Yes, thanks, Peter. I tell you what, listen to the Prime Minister too. He's a real student of it. He studies that form, and there's a picture of the champ. There he is, that gorgeous chestnut. That's Superimpose, and we'll leave you with that picture of him as the McKinnon approaches. We'll take a break. That's where we are indeed, live and exclusive at Flemington Racecourse for the Spring Racing Carnival. And you're watching Derby Day, and we're about to get into the races that really matter as pointers to the Melbourne Cup. Race 5, the McKinnon Stakes. Plenty of talent in the race, but Peter Donegan, gee, it's hard to go past that big, gorgeous chestnut with the number 1 on his back.
He is a magnificent animal, Tim, and he looks sensational in the mounting yard for this race. Over 2,000 metres, the same distance as the Wakeful. And with a field of only 13 here, they should all have a posse. Stylish Century is out wide on the track, and he'll probably lead them. So they should all have a posse at the 1,400 metre mark. Dan Superimpose, the crowd loves him. What are they doing with him on the tape?
Well, at this stage, Peter, he is the favourite of $1.45 and 65 cents. Castletown, $12.45. Almahib, $19.65. Prince O'Leary, $4.45. $13 for Mantelpiece, $5.50 for number 6 Ivory Way, $17 Stylish Century, Majestic Boy $29.15, 9 Ideal Cinnamon $34.95, number 10 Surface Paradise $1.85, 11 out, 12 Bold Rancher $7.60, Soleil Rouge $19.30, number 13, and Let's Elope number 14, the Caulfield Cup winner $4.50. Almost $500,000 in the win pool for this race, the Louis Vuitton McKinnon Stakes, and we could just see the Melbourne Cup winner go around in this 2,000 metre event. And we pose the question to you, the Louis Vuitton McKinnon Stakes. 2,000 metres, the light is on. Gates fly back and they're off and racing. A little bit slow to begin was El Meheb and the stablemate Ivory Way, and Castletown back to the rear early. Surface Paradise landed in front of Majestic Boy. Stylish Century was wider out, then Mantelpiece. Prince Alieri pushing through with Ideal Cinnamon and Bold Rancher, followed by Soleil Rouge midfield. Back behind them was Let's Elope and going around at Ivory Way. El Meheb third last, a length away Superimpose, and Castletown at the rear. 1,600 metres left to travel, and Stylish Century finally worked his way to the front. He's a length clear of Prince Alieri, and Soleil Rouge going up on the outside. A length away Ideal Cinnamon settling in 5th placing as Majestic Boy races up to within a length of Stylish Century. Ideal Cinnamon's 5th, a length behind it Bold Rancher. Ivory Way got up along the inside. In between horses was Mantelpiece as they run along past the 1,200 metres point. Soleil Rouge 3 deep. A length and a half away, 4th last was Let's Elope. On the inside next was El Meheb, a length away Superimpose, and Castletown at the rear of the field. They have 1,000 metres left to go. Stylish Century led by a length to Majestic Boy. Third was Prince Alieri, a length away Surface Paradise, and then Ideal Cinnamon. Ivory Way's over on the inside next. Around them was Bold Rancher and Soleil Rouge. Mantelpiece midfield, a length and a half to El Meheb on the inside of Let's Elope. 2 lengths to Superimpose, and last of all was Castletown. 12 lengths would cover up the field as they run inside the 700 metres mark, and Stylish Century in front by 3/4 of a length to Majestic Boy. A length and a half away Prince Alieri, 4th Surface Paradise, and then Soleil Rouge. Behind them was Ivory Way, Ideal Cinnamon, Mantelpiece next, and then Let's Elope, El Meheb, and now Superimpose taken to the outside from Castletown. 500 metres left to go on the McKinnon Stakes, and the leader Stylish Century. Looming up ominously on the outside though was Surface Paradise, and then Majestic Boy, and now down the outside Superimpose and Let's Elope. 300 metres to go, Surface Paradise in front. Here's Let's Elope and Superimpose. Let's Elope hit the front, 150 metres to go. Superimpose was trying to run her down, but the Caulfield Cup winner in front, 100 out. Let's Elope in front, Superimpose can't get her. And here's the Melbourne Cup favourite. Let's Elope wins easily. 2 lengths to Superimpose and Prince Alieri. Castletown, what a cup trial it was. Flashed home for 4th. Then Ivory Way, close up Mantelpiece, Stylish Century. Surface Paradise disappointing, and then Bold Rancher, Majestic Boy. Ideal Cinnamon, Soleil Rouge, and El Meheb was back of the rear. They've run 2 minutes 1.8, and the winner is number 14, Let's Elope, and I think without much doubt at all, the outright favourite for Tuesday's Foster's Melbourne Cup. For a win and place return in the McKinnon Stakes, number 14, Let's Elope, $4.70 the winner, $1.30 the place. Number 1, Superimpose, 70 cents. And number 4, Prince Alieri, $1.15. 14, 1 and 4, they will be the approximate should pays for race number 5, the McKinnon Stakes. Well, Super, he's run second again in the feature race in Melbourne, but take nothing away from Let's Elope because she was in the same position as Superimpose as they rounded the home turn, Gary.
Well, Danny, they've both really made their runs together, and Let's Elope has done a fantastic job. I really, didn't think she'd be quite up to weight for age, but she's gone right to line very strong. Superimpose looked like getting her coming to the 200, but she was just far too strong. But I think the one to watch is the horse right on the rail with the orange cap, or Goldie cap, Castletown. His run was enormous for the 3,200 metre race.
He's finished up running 5th, but 50 metres after the post he was a clear third. Well, Bart Cummings just produces these winners, and his 9th Melbourne Cup is staring him right in the face now, Peter Donegan, after that performance from Let's Elope.
No question about it, Dan, but you've had some great Melbourne Cup trials in the McKinnon over the years. Any better than that?
No, it's a good one, wasn't it?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
The race was run to suit her, do you feel?
Well, they're running good times. She's a solid staying type, needed the pace on, and everything worked beautifully for her, yes. It was good.
Given the fact that Superimpose couldn't run her down today, and I know it's a completely different distance, but with him going up to 60, it's pretty hard to see him beating her home.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect it, would you? I wouldn't expect it to happen. I think she'd beat those behind her today.
When you first got this horse, I mean, she's inexperienced now. She's won the Caulfield Cup, she's won the McKinnon Stakes, she's going to be a hot favourite in the Melbourne Cup. Did you ever think that she'd reach these heights?
She's getting a lot of experience very quickly, and it's working very well. And You couldn't wish for any more than the preparation and the winning form that she's shown before the race. I don't think there's been ever a more worthy favourite of the Melbourne Cup than this filly.
But congratulations, and no doubt you're looking forward to Cup number 9 on Tuesday now.
Just have to wait now and hope for the best. Thank you.
Good on you, Bart Cummings, the trainer of Let's Elope. And what a fantastic performance it was. We've just seen the new Melbourne Cup favourite, Let's Elope, a stunning performance in the Louis Vuitton McKinnon Stakes. We'll be back with all the details and the wash-up of what happened after one of the great races of the Australian turf after this break.
Could be the Melbourne Cup winner of the actual race, Tim. Just comparing weights here, Let's Elope drops to 51.5, so that's a good drop on her performance today. Ivory Way ran fourth, and it was a real good fourth. Drops from 58.5 kilos today to carry 49.5 kilograms in Tuesday's Melbourne Cup. He's the weight horse. He'll be a definite second favourite. Could have been the Cup Quinella too, those horses that run first and fourth. Let's have a look at the dividends around Australia for the Louis Vuitton McKinnon Stakes. Let's Elope, $4.70 the winner, $1.30 the place. One Superimposed, 70 cents. 4 Prince Alieri, $1.15. Quinella, $6.45. The trifecta paid $94.80 on 14, 1 and 4. Let's Elope in the mounting yard. Thanks, Peter. In the Derby, Kinjite, $4.75 in the update. Ready to Explode, $3.70. Naturalism, $2.45. VO Wolf is number 6 at $3.70. Nines Mango Lunch at $7.10. Over the page, we see Turgeman, $13.80 from the Hay Stable. Star of the Realm, $3.05. Mac Robert, $3.90. Time to Go, $5.90. Field of 18 in the Derby. The next event here at Flemington, over nearly $250,000 in that win pool too for the Derby. In the 6th event, the Gadsden, the best lineup of sprinters I've ever seen in a race like this. Magnificent field. The best sprinter from New Zealand, Mr. Tiz at the top, $2.50. 2 Planet Ruler, $2.95. He's won this race for the last 2 years. 3 Street Ruffian, $3.20. 4 Grandiose, $6.75. 5 U Clays, a full brother to that magnificent Cox Plate champion Rubiton, $1.70 and 80, and he's the favourite. Vain Sovereign, $4.10. 7 Barossa Boy, $13.80. 8 Mr. Till, $17.10. 9 Final Card, $6.05. And 10 Welcome Night, $22.35. And already $224,000 in the win pool and $130,000 in the place pool. Gee, Peter, we've seen some Melbourne Cup trials in the past, especially in this race. That performance reminded me so much of Empire Rose's win a couple of years ago. And what did she do 4 days later? Yeah, well, that's exactly right. Both mares, Dan, and, well, they couldn't have been more impressive. And Let's Elope, well, she's certain to start a hot favourite. She was about a 7 to 1 chance, 7 or 8 to 1 chance before today's race, but now she's probably going to be, I'd say, about a 4 to 1, 9 to 2 chance. Well, Graham.
Dulcify had just turned 4 in the spring of '79 when he stirred our extreme emotions in 10 unforgettable days. The stallion, whose rippling muscles threatened the plain brown coat in which they were wrapped, trotted onto Moonee Valley for the Cox Plate, with Brent Thompson on his back and hundreds of thousands of dollars on his head. He walked off a champion.
Here's the Melbourne Cup favourite. Have a look at Dulcified. It's 4 Cox Plates to Brent Thompson. Dulcified brilliantly wins the Cox Plate by 6 lengths. Second, Chivalry, 6 lengths away.
After the Cox Plate procession, bookies slashed the Big Bay's Melbourne Cup odds to 3 to 1 favouritism. Everything went to plan for the first half of the race, with Dulcify racing in front of a wall of 3 horses, Hyperno, Cubicade and Worry Symbol, a mile from the post. It was at that point, stewards found later, that the Dulcify fairy tale became a horror story. The eventual winner, Hyperno, an erratic customer wearing blinkers, the badge of an equine bandit, reefed at Harry White for more rain, eventually reaching out and connecting with Dulcify's hind legs. Pull down from behind was how the vets put it. Dulcify's big heart carried him on until halfway down the Flemington Straight. They tried to save him, taking him back to Colin Hayes' nearby stables, but they couldn't even get him to the float. So he was put down with a lethal injection humanely, not with a bullet, as a newspaper guest. Colin Hayes was comforted by hundreds of communications from Prime Minister Malcolm Fraser, the Aga Khan, even a letter of condolence from a class of school children who simply wanted to say how much they would miss Dulcify. The same night, Harry White walked up to the kindly trainer and said simply, "I'm sorry." Everybody was.
Six years before Archer won the first Melbourne Cup, the first Victorian Derby was run. Only 8 3-year-olds were competing. To the dismay of the owners, trainers and jockeys, 2 of the colts left the track and didn't complete the race. That first Derby was won by Rose of May for the stake money of £100. Today, the race is called the Hong Kong Bank Victoria Derby, with a prize money of $753,000, and has developed into one of the most prestigious and significant derbies in the world. It's a classic race, based on classic races of England. A race for 3-year-olds at said weights over a distance of 2,500 metres, a little more than 1.5 miles. The Derby has been won by some of the greatest champions of the turf, including the immortal Phar-Lap, Comic Court, Tulloch and Dulcify. But the 3-year-olds are not the only champions who win the Derby. The classic has been dominated by 3 of Australia's greatest trainers, Colin Hayes, Bart Smith. Last year, Fire Oak took the honours. And so it is, the Victoria Derby, a classic race for classy horses.
Yes, indeed it is, but it's run one race away so far. We've got the Gadsden to come up and to discuss it and how these sprinters are going to go. Let's go back down to Peter Donegan.
Thank you, Tim. They've arrived in the mounting yard now prior to the start of race number 6 on the card, and only a small...
Light flashing away on top of the gates. Off and racing now. Planet Ruler jumped away reasonably well. Euclays won the start from Barossa Boy. Final card was next, and they were followed by Mr. Tiz, Mr. Till just behind them, and Street Ruffian going very quickly early. Planet Ruler goes back to near last with Vain Sovereign as they run by the 1,000-metre point. Final card, Euclays taken on by Street Ruffian. Mr. Till going up between horses. Barossa Boy's going to settle just in behind them, followed by Mr. Till. Out wider was Grandiose, a couple of lengths away, Vain Sovereign, and Planet Ruler was over on the inside. Running up towards the 650-metre crossing, Euclays sharing the lead from Final card, Welcome Night. Barossa Boy over on the inside, Street Ruffian making a line of 4. A length and a half to Mr. Till and Grandiose, Vain Sovereign wider out, and then Planet Ruler and Mr. Tiz. 400 metres left to go. Euclays over on the outside in front of Final card, Barossa Boy. Welcome Night under the whip. Final card a half a length in front of Euclays. Dittman goes for the whip now. Then Street Ruffian followed by Planet Ruler, Grandiose, and out wider was Mr. Tiz. Final card kicked away, 200 metres to go. It could be somewhat of an upset. Euclays can't win, but Final card can. He's shot away and he's home. Final card's going to bolt the Gadsden in, getting the second Barossa Boy and Mr. Tiz late. But Final card won easily. Final card by 3 lengths to Barossa Boy and Mr. Tiz. Then Welcome Night, Planet Ruler, Street Ruffian, Euclays, Grandiose, Vain Sovereign, and Mr. Till back at the tail of the field. Well, there you go. Number 9, the winner Final card, and those colours just keep getting carried to victory. It's unbelievable. This time it's Anthony Cummings as the registered trainer, and the time they've run, this is quite phenomenal. This is real history-breaking stuff. The stoppers clocked at 1:07.8, and that is an equal track record. That track record has stood since 1940, held by Ori Star, and they've equalled it. Final card to pay $5.65 and $1.50, Barossa Boy $2.25, and Mr. Tiz $1.
Well, Dan, what a run!
Winner 9, final card $5.65 and $1.50, 7 Barossa Boy $2.25, 1 Mr. Tiz $1. Quinella $53.55, and the trifecta paid $750.15 on 9, 7 and 1. They're the tote dividends.
For the first turn, there are the totes, Dan, and what do the punters make of it?
Well, Kinja Peter is at $4.60 from the top, 2 Ready to Explode $3.75, 3 Naturalism $2.20, 4's out, 5 Natchez $22.65, 6 B.O. Wolf $3.70, 7 Good and Fast 35.55, 8 Our Bold Cruiser 51.30, 9's Mango's Lunch at $7.50, 10 Tresoro 28.05, 11 Turgeman 13.90, 12 Star of the Realm $3.20, 13 Green Fever $20.95, Elaine's Shadow $30.70, 15 My Armageddon $40.80, 16 Mac Robert $4.10, 17 Time to Go $6.45, 18 Robmore $154.80 for the win, and there they are dividends 450 cents. Win pool nearly $400,000, place pool almost $250,000. Bart Cummings has got 2 starters, Elaine's Shadow and Time to Go. Here's or the stable itself, him 2 and Anthony 1 have trained the first 3 legs of the quadrilla in Victoria. Pete, can they knock it off?
Well, you wouldn't put it past them. I think Bart could probably train a rocking horse to win at the moment, Dan, the way he's going. But Graham Kelly is with me now. Graham, they've spoken about this not being one of the quality derbies, but there's no question about the fact that the winner will earn a place in history.
Yes, certainly. Well, it's always a very good race, and you do generally find that while it may not look a quality field at the time, it generally turns out to be a quality field with subsequent